Okay, number 7. Number 7 is a complex shape. So I'm going to choose to break it up like this. So the width is 3 feet. So this is 3 feet. I'm going to ignore this one over here. This tiny little piece is 1. Let me see what this measure is right here. That's 3. Okay, so if this part's 3 and that part's 1, then the total length is 4. So this one's a 4 by 3. So length times width, 4 times 3, that's 12. And then let's do the area of this rectangle. So we have, this is 3, and this whole thing was 12. So 12 take away 3 is 9. And then this is 3 and that's 3. So that's a 9 by 3 rectangle right there. We're ignoring this one. So 9 times 3, that's 27. And we have to add those two together. So 27 plus 12 is 39 square feet. So the answer is F. 39 square feet. Number 8. Number 8 is a net of a rectangular prism, because all the faces are rectangles, and it says it right here. So I'm gonna start with these two right here that are congruent, the right side and the left side. And the length is 6. We know it because it says 6 yards right there, and the width is 2. So 6 times 2 is 12. So this one's 12 and that one's 12. So 12 plus 12 is 24. And then let's do the bottom and the top. So the bottom and the top. And this is 9 yards here. So this is going to be 9 yards. And this is 6 yards. So that's 6, that's 6, that's 6, and that's 6. So this rectangle is 9 times 6, which is 54. It's 54 and 54. Is 108, 108. And then let's do the front and the back. And that is 2, because if this is 2 and when you lift it up to make it, that's 2. So that's 9 times 2, which is 18. And 18 plus another 18 is 36. So we're gonna add all them together. 6 and 4 is 10, plus 8 is 18. 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 60, and then 100. 168 square yards. Okay, moving on to number 9. What is the surface area of the triangular prism? Don't let this shape scare you. Don't let it scare you because it's not a net. Triangular prism. So let's look at it and determine what type of triangle it is. It's a right triangle. There's the right angle. So because it's a right triangle prism, the base and the height are so easy to identify. Base is 12, so let's do 1/2 base times height for the area of the triangle. The base is 12, the height is 5. So 12 times 5 is 60. Half of 60 is 30 square inches. And you're gonna have a triangle here on this side, and you're gonna have one on the opposite side, and they're congruent. They're both right triangles, so here and there. So 30 plus 30 is 60. So those are the areas of the two triangles. And now let's determine what type of triangle it is. So if this side of this rectangle here is 13, this is 13. So look at what we have. We have a scaling triangle because that side is 12, that side is 5, and that side is 13. So scaling means none of the sides are the same. So that means all 3 rectangles on this prism are gonna have different areas. So let's start with this rectangle here. That one is a 13 by 4. So 13 times 4 is 52. 52, let's circle it. All right, I'm gonna use a different color and let's do this rectangle here. And if this is 4, then that's 4. So that's 4, and this part of the rectangle is 5. So 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 5 for this one is 20. And then get a different color, blue, and we'll do this one on the bottom here. So the length is 12 and the width is 4, and 12 times 4 is 48. So we have to add the triangle, the 2 triangles area, which is 60, and then 48, and then 52, and then 20. 8 and 2 is 10, 60 and 40 is 100, 150, 60, 70, 180. So the answer for the total surface area is 180 square inches, G. And again, prisms have rectangular faces. Pyramids have triangle faces, okay? And a pyramid only has 1 base. Prisms have 2 bases. And the 2 bases on this one are right triangles, right scaling triangles. Right, oh, that marker doesn't work. Right scaling triangles, which meant all 3 rectangles would have different areas. Number 10, if the surface area of a triangular pyramid with an equilateral triangular base with a height of 8 and a base of 6. So what's the surface area? Area equals 1/2 base times height. And it told us the bottom is equilateral and the height is 8. So height is 8 and the base is 6, 6, and 6 because it's equilateral triangle. That means all sides are equal. 6, 1/2 of that. 6 times 8 is 48. And then half of 40 is 20 and half of 8 is 4 and 20 plus 4 is 24. It is units squared. So that's the area of 1 triangle. Since it's a triangular pyramid, you have a triangular base right here, and then there's a triangle off of each of the 3 sides of that. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 equilateral triangles. So we take the 24 and multiply it times 4. 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times 2 is 8 plus 1 is 9. So 96 square units. What is the surface area of the triangular prism? Don't let this scare you again. Prisms have 3 rectangles, 3 or more rectangular faces, and then 2 bases. So let's look at the 2 bases. They're named by their base, so triangles. Yay, it's a right triangle again. So there's the right angle, so it's easy to identify the base and the height. So area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. The base is 8 meters, the height is 6. 8 times 6 is 48 again. Half of 48 is 24. So this triangle is 24 and that triangle is 24. So 24 plus 24 is 48 square units. Now let's see. This side was 6, that side was 8, and look, this side is 10. How do we know? Because that side of that rectangle is 10, and this side's 9. So this side down here is going to be 9. That's a rectangle. So we have a right scaling triangle again. Scaling, none of the sides are congruent. So all 3 rectangles will have different areas. So let's start with this big rectangle area here on the front, which is 10 times 9. Those are the dimensions. 10 times 9, that one is 90. And let's look at the one on the bottom. This one on the bottom. So that's 8 by 9. And 9 times 8 is 72 square units for the rectangle on the bottom. And now let's do the one on the back side. Back here. And that's 9 times 6. So 9 times 6, That one's 54. And then the last thing we need to do is add them all together. So we have our 48 from the triangles here. Oh, I hope you could see that. Sorry, I need to make sure I'm staying in the camera. This is 48 for the two right scaling triangles. This is 90 for the bottom one, 72 for this front one, and 54 for this back one. So 8 and 2 is 10, plus 4, 14, or 100, no, 14, carry the 10. 90, 100, 170, 170, 180, 190, 200, 210, 260, 264 square units. 264, C. And number 12, what's the surface area of the square pyramid? I love square pyramids. They're just fun to me. So the base of this pyramid is a square, and it's a 10 by 10 square. So 10 times 10 is 100 square inches. That's the area of the square base. And then let's check out the triangles. Well, since the base is a square, then the triangles have to be all equilateral triangles. So the height is 12. Area equals 1/2 base times height. The base is 10 and the height is 12. 10 times 12 is 120. So half of 120 is 60. That's the area of one triangle. And since the base is a square, there will be 4 triangles. One from here, this side of the square, one from that side, one from that side, and one from that side. So 60 times 4, 240 square inches. So 240 plus 100 is 340 square inches, which is H. And our last couple of questions here. What's my time? 12 minutes. Rick's gym builds a swimming pool and deck in the shape of a rectangle. What's the area of the pool in square meters? All right, so they want to know the area of just the pool. So I'm going to break it up this way. And I'm going to look at this dimensions. So it's 12 and a half. 12 and 1/2 times 7 and 1/5. And I'm sorry that I didn't change these fractions to whole numbers. Hopefully you could just use your calculator. So that's 25 halves times 36 fifths. 5 times 2 is 10. 36. I don't have a calculator on me. 900. So that would be 90 square meters for this one. 90. And then this is 6.5, the width. And since this whole side is 15.5, but this part of it was the 7.5, 7 1/5, we need to subtract that to find the difference. So 15 and 1/5 minus 7 and 1/5, that's 8. So this is 8. So we would do length times width, 8 times 6 and 1/2, 8 over 1 times 13 halves. I just changed that mixed fraction to an improper fraction. And when you multiply fractions, you just multiply the numerators and multiply the denominators. Super easy. You don't have to find a common denominator. And 13 times 8 is 104. And half of 104 is 52. So 52 is the area of that part. So you have to add them together. 142 square meters is the area of the pool. And the last shape, number 12, it looks like a kite. It is a kite. And it says, how many square inches of fabric does N need to make the kite? So 2 wooden rods. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to break it up here into 2 triangles, and they're congruent triangles. So the height of this one is 8, and the base is 12 plus 16. So the base is 28. 1/2 base times height, and the height is 8. So 28 times 8, 8 times 8 is 64. 8 times 2 is 16 plus 6, 22. So that's the base times the height. Now we have to half it. So half of 200 is 100, half of 20 is 10, and half of 4 is 2. So 112 is the area of one triangle. So we have to double that. So we end up with 224 square inches for the area of the whole kite. Okay, so this is one of the rectangles, and this is the base, and that's the height. And so if you flip it, it's the same base and the same height because they're congruent.